Oh yeah, got for my B-Day. I was like, fuck. Yeah.
I remember having those when we were like fucking, I don't know, 13.
Like, oh, these things are cool.
Oh, I love them. Love them to death. All right. And here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the WRK podcast where we ask the questions, but at the end of the day, who really knows? As always, I'm your host, AJ, here with my good friend, Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're going to be talking about some deep underground bases, military bases, all kinds of bases. First bases, second bases, third bases. I mean, we never know where the conversation is going to go, so I just felt like I'd prepare you all. As always, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, both at WRKPod. Subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/WRKPod. Kayaking season's coming up.
Fuck yes, it is.
And we're going to have some fun pictures and videos to share on our Patreon page. That won't be on our personal account, so don't look for them because they won't be there, okay?
Yeah, we can't share that stuff with our friends and family. Well, with our friends, our family can see it.
Yes. Just follow us all. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud or iTunes, the show is live. We usually do about 2:30, 2:45 on YouTube. Just YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just saw your glasses for the first time. Just YouTube. Who Really Knows podcast. You'll find us. Come watch us live. Join the chat. Get involved. We'll try to read messages.
Yeah.
The best we can. I don't wear my glasses usually, so I mean, like, it's gonna be butchered. Like that one time we thought this guy called us a fag.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You guys are heroes." And I was like, "How did I mess that up?" So it's just being 5 feet away from the screen.
Fuck you, man! Get out of our fucking chat.
Oh man, but yeah, as always, enjoy the tune while we jump into it. All right, so deep underground bases.
Mm-hmm.
So by deep underground bases, we're not talking about the forts that you built in your grandparents' basement.
Yeah.
The blanket forts and shit like that. We're talking $1 million infrastructures that are carved in the mountains and shit like that. And the government and the people who run it are always trying to hide things from us, thinking that we aren't able to comprehend the necessity of the objects of their suspicious behavior. Like, for example, the NSA was founded in 1952, was kept a secret from the public until 1960. The NRO, or National Reconnaissance Office, was founded in 1960, was kept from the people until 1990. So if this is your first episode with us, then I forgive you for not knowing already, but your government is fucking lying to you.
They're lying. They're always lying.
They're fucking lying.
The secrets are unreal.
It's just like the amount of things that the people in power know that other people don't know or don't care to try to figure out is just, it's undeniably large.
But we know.
Yeah, we know some
we
of
have
it.
We have guesses. We think we have it spot on, but we could be wrong.
Yeah, we're superstitious. We're superstitious about what's going on. But yeah, no, it's like, I mean, the idea I think is really fascinating. Have you ever read The City of Embers? You remember that book? Like, I don't know. My fourth
Yeah,
grade teacher made us all read it.
I don't remember the book. I think I remember the concept though. I think I watched the movie actually. Isn't there a movie?
I'm not sure, but they live in like an underground city.
Yeah. And it's like a society down there, or yeah.
And it's basically post-apocalyptic deep underground base. It's pretty cool. Pretty fucking cool. This is like one of the topics where we talk about where I'm not gonna be like, yo, this is fucked up. Like the last time we talked about something that I thought like, oh, this isn't fucked up, this is pretty cool, was aliens.
Yeah.
Like this has got me excited.
Whoa. Yeah, no. And aliens will be coming into this for sure. But yeah, just the fact about having stuff like underground where we should be building cities and stuff. I mean, who knows, some of these underground bases, when they're all said and done, they might be turned into cities, civilizations can be living under there. It'll be amazing.
Yeah, it's 100%. I think what it will turn into, if there's ever like a catastrophic event or like biological warfare where, oh, hey, like we can't breathe the air if it's not filtered, but fortunately we have this base underground that filters all the air that comes through it.
Yeah, right. Like, why haven't we been planning for this sooner? You can't bomb us if we're underground.
Yeah, well, we'll get into it because we have been planning for it, or at least the government has been. And before we go too deep into underground bases, I want to talk about what makes it all possible or helps it being possible that there are underground bases that we don't know about. And that's thanks to Edward Snowden, the former intelligence contractor who was played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that failed movie. So Eduardo Snowdeno shed some light on what is called the black budget, which costs our government roughly like around multiple trillions of dollars every year to conduct operations that the public need not know about. The quote is need not know about.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where you get the fact that the Pentagon has been audited for filing expenditures and revealing that they spent $7,000 on quote unquote hammer. And that's why like people in like the conspiracy and truth community I know I have on the podcast before joked about the $1,000 hammer and shit like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's where that comes from, is from Edward Snowden's NSA leak, or all the shit that he lives in Russia now. He's gonna be dead in our lifetime by a mysterious cause.
Oh yeah, probably hanging himself,
much like Julian Assange.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we still got to see what comes out of that.
This fucking
He should have, instead of going to the embassy, he should have went to an underground base, dude.
Yeah, he should have built his own. I've built many of snow forts into the snow pile at the mall, okay?
Yeah, pretty sure we know how to build an underground base.
I'm basically a fucking pro, okay? So that's all you need to know. But yeah, back to the task at hand. There are known bases around the world that are underground and militarized. Sweden has an underground military facility at, I'm going to butcher this, holy fuck, Musko, one of the Musko, however the Swedes would pronounce that. It's a large naval base, and it's built underneath a mountain, which has an infirmary with over 1,000 beds. Dude, this thing's fucking massive. Think what Sartori Hospital is probably like close to like 500 beds.
Yeah. That's gonna be a pretty big, cool little base they got going on.
Like James Bond, like this thing's like a James Bond level base, and this is like all public knowledge. Is what is it? The engineers blasted out 1.5 million cubic meters of stone to build the base into a mountain. 1.5 million cubic meters.
Mm-hmm.
Like meters, a million, like M as in misogyny. Like it's huge. It's fucking gigantic. To put it in perspective for like I did the math when I was typing my notes. For American listeners, because we're the only ones that don't use the metric system, that's 4,921,259.843 cubic feet, roughly. And to put that in even more perspective, it's like 100,000 cubic feet less than double the size of Brooklyn, the borough of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So they blasted this city of Brooklyn, or borough of Brooklyn, into a mountain and carved out a military base.
Yeah.
Just imagine, like, think about how big New York City is. Take a quarter of that.
Yeah.
And then double it. So take half of New York City. It's just fucking.
That's a sweet little base they got going on.
I told Eric that last night, and he just looks at me and goes, "Man, and they're supposed to be neutral." It fucking killed me,
dog.
Dude, but for real, like
that's just like that's gotta have like the best space for having fucking work parties and stuff. Like they probably throw the most insane work parties there.
Oh, definitely, they have to.
Honestly, you can do whatever they want. Like they're down there like drinking fucking natural ices and doing like fucking steroid experiments on each other.
I don't
like
know if they have natty ice in Sweden.
The military base doesn't want the public to know that they have natty ice there.
No, it's fucking crazy. The size, like just thinking of the sheer size. Because I've been to New York City. I've been to Manhattan, which is bigger than Brooklyn, but still, I mean, it's just insane to think about.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we're talking relative terms where we're talking square foot to cubic feet, but still.
Yeah. Is what you're talking about with Brooklyn or the boroughs? Is that just square feet that you're talking about?
So Brooklyn is 2,648,771 square feet.
And this is fucking cubic feet. Like that's
yeah.
Insane.
So we're talking up and down and left to right.
Yeah.
At the same time, forward, back, all that shit.
It's unreal. That's massive.
What kind of mountain? And it's a naval base too, so it's on the water.
Yeah, like
I mean, I would assume so, right? Like, I mean,
I bet they were.
What kind of naval base would be away from the water?
They probably were like, like, hey, there's this flat area. We could just do it over here. Nah, kind of thought we would just blow up the mountain. It would save us like $1 trillion.
Oh, we confiscated all this Nazi dynamite. We might as well use it.
Yeah, right. It's just one guy going around the whole mountain with like a grenade launcher, just fucking firing rocks out of place.
Like, imagine the biggest, bestest Minecraft base.
Yeah, that's what we're talking. That's literally what we're talking. They probably stole some 11-year-old kid who was building the most epic Minecraft bases.
Get the fuck out of my room! I'm playing Minecraft.
Like they literally probably have him build them in Minecraft, and that's what they fucking use for their fucking base. Like
they replicate it.
They have
Swiss Alps.
He's like, do we really have to add this pit of lava? Yes, you gotta have the pit of lava, or else they'll get in.
You don't want the creeps to come. What the fuck?
This kid knows what he's talking about, okay?
The creeps are not metaphorical. They're a literal thing. It happens. Oh, man, that just makes me think, get the fuck out of my room. I'm playing Minecraft.
Imagine he's probably in his room in the underground base. They were like, you can come live with us, make bases from Minecraft. We'll have to kill your family, but yep, I'm sold.
He thinks he's playing VR Minecraft, and it's just like some Swede with like bloody knuckles. Just like, stop making me forge.
Oh, man. Dude, I wonder how they fucking just like plan all of that out without people finding out. But I mean, when was that? When were all these bases built? It's like you kind of like think, how long ago were these bases built? What bases are they still building today?
The earliest documentation is World War II. So yeah, I mean, it's been a while. Can't imagine some of them are too safe. Like the thing I don't get about underground bases is how they adjust for the tectonic plates shifting.
Yeah, right. If you, depending on how far down you go, like, I mean, unless you were like in the middle, but yeah, I don't know. Apparently they got it figured out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they're abandoned. They know when they're gonna fucking get shit on, and they're like, "All right, time to evacuate. Let's go spend another couple trillion."
The server got wiped. Let's start a new base.
Yep, exactly. It's Minecraft, bro. That should be the title of the episode. Like, fuck.
It's Minecraft, bro.
It's just people playing Minecraft.
It's fucking crazy. So in back to America, our country of origin. No offense to you foreign listeners. I know there's quite a few of you. The Deputy Director of Engineers and Construction for the U.S. Army Corps Army Corps of Engineers. Sorry, there was a typo that I did not correct there. It says Army Corps of Teenagers.
An Army Corps. Teenage corpses swarming the streets.
Lloyd A. Dusha. Yeah.
Whatever. Douche.
Yeah, douche. I'm 25 years old now, and I just put this in my notes to point out the fact that I just found out that Lloyd, the name Lloyd, is spelled with 2 L's at the beginning of it. That's a weird fucking name.
Yeah.
Like, ladies, don't name your son Lloyd.
Yeah.
And don't let your mans name your son Lloyd.
Yeah.
Shut that shit down.
Yeah, that name
It's a weird fucking name.
That's like some shit they'd come up with in like Russia or something. We don't need that in America.
Yeah. Don't start your name with 2 L's. That's just fucking weird. We don't need it.
Doesn't make sense.
But anyway, Lloyd gave a speech to an engineering conference titled The Underground Facilities for Defense Experiences and Lessons, where he talks about military engineering inspirations after World War II, which we won back-to-back World War champs. Just want to point that out.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first paragraph of his transcript reads, after World War II, political and economic factors changed the underground construction picture and caused renewed interest to think underground. As a result of the interest, the Corps of Engineers, or Corps, I don't know why I'm saying Corps, the Corps of Engineers became involved with the design and construction of some very complex and interesting facilities for the defense experience and lessons. I must deviate a little because several of the most interesting facilities have been designed and constructed by the Corps are classified. The thing you think most about that whole statement is the phrasing in the last line. I must deviate a little because several of the most interesting facilities have been designed and constructed by the Corps have been classified. So that means in our country, there are multiple deep underground military bases.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple. And that's like this guy has to have been killed not very long after that speech. Like, he's like, he said it and like a bead of sweat just drips down. He's like, oh, fuck, I fucked up.
Shit, I wasn't supposed to say it.
I went too far. My wife, Nancy, she was right.
He doesn't give a fuck. If you're going to go talk about a speech like that, you don't give a fuck about your family. You just want to be famous.
Yeah.
You just want people to talk about you.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. It's it's a crazy, but I mean, that means that in 1987, we already had bases constructed.
Mm-hmm.
Which you asked, like, how long has this been a thing? Like, it's been a thing for...
I think more, I'm just curious, how are they still, like, how are they building them now? If we have as much information from people all around, like, who would be there to notice? Would we notice? How well can they keep it a secret that they're building these things? I'm sure pretty well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the amount of shit that we don't know, like, fucking talk just about extraterrestrial.
Yeah.
I mean, the Roswell incidents happened in the 60s, and it's still no one really knows what the fuck happened.
Yeah. That's the crazy. There's no old people that are like senile that are letting loose some information about it.
Yeah, I don't think that they. I don't know, man. It's weird because that's a good point. Like these old people that just like start losing their minds and running their mouth. Like
Yeah.
you don't hear about that with people, like classified shit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless they're like dead and shit, but
yeah, I mean, maybe they get killed off at a certain age. Maybe they.
I feel like I haven't looked into it enough, but I feel like I've read about it some that I don't think there's any, like, there's people that talk about it, but I feel like there would be more people talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I ever really hear about is like, yeah, my grandpa started going crazy and talking about how fucked up Vietnam was and shit like that.
Yeah, and you said, "Calm down. Vietnam wasn't a real thing."
Dude, I've heard. My parents have been divorced. Multiple times. I've gone through divorce processes with my parents. I have a lot of grandparents. I've heard a lot of fucked up shit that happened in Vietnam from old crazy. I heard one of my grandpas call someone a zipper head once, which is the name for a Viet Cong person that got ran over by a tank, and their face after getting ran over by like a 3-ton vehicle with tracks instead of tires, their face looks like that's what the name comes from. Is their I've heard someone be called a zipper head, like not like to their face, but
yeah,
I've heard a lot of fucked up shit from old people. Don't hear about this shit.
Yeah, right. You hear, dude, old people are spouting off, well, when I was in the war, and they say the same story probably like 20 times a week to random people. Where's the old people that were working at these facilities going, when I was in the facility, we were working on aliens and shit.
I wonder if they live and die there. Like, what point of life is there to that, though? I mean, I can't, like, you can tell me greater cause and shit like that, but I don't, like, live your life underground, fucking try to advance science and shit like that. Like, I still need, I need adventure.
Yeah. I mean, it would.
If someone offered me a life of luxury and a lab coat, but I would have to be underground in a base for the rest of my life.
Yeah, fuck that.
And die there. Like, no.
Mm-hmm.
No, like, you're telling me I can't go fucking camping with my friends or go kayaking on the river or shit. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Which that's kind of a.
Maybe I'm just selfish. Well, I'm probably selfish.
That's a weird point because I mean, like, you think like, as much as they wanted to keep things a secret, you'd wonder if they probably were having these people fucking just live and die there. Like,
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're like, oh, we'll expend your whole family's debt, like, entirely, and you live and die here.
Maybe they have an old folks home that they set up, that just looks like a normal place. Just in the normal place,
They have like LED screen fucking windows, or they're just like, oh yeah, you're on the prairie again.
If they could create a whole fucking biome of fucking, like sandy beaches and stuff. These guys are probably like dying on a fucking fake ocean, like on the beach, just smoking weed and taking drugs and shit. Because they know the truth that the drugs aren't bad for you. They're going senile anyways. You might as well drop a little bit of acid. You know what I'm saying?
They don't get to take drugs or drop acid or smoke weed because the federal government still views it as a psychotropic drug. Federal employees can't take that.
They're not. Would they be considered? I mean, I feel like they're just like a whole nother animal. They're fucking like the government themselves. I feel like if you know all that information, you're more powerful than fucking people in office.
Yeah, but the people in office also get told that information at a level.
At a higher level.
Like, I mean, your local representative, like your fucking city hall members aren't going to know what's happening at fucking,
Then we definitely, if our city hall members knew that shit, we definitely would know about that. As soon as they'd start to lose the race for election next fall, they'd be like, well, I'm here to tell you about underground bases. And it's so small that no one would even hear about it.
If that's the case, I hope it's true.
Dude, I want to know, like, I think the alien part about all the things about keeping aliens in these bases. I think that's kind of cool. But like, I want to know like the experiments that they got going on with these people. Like, what are they figuring out with like mutation and like fucking like making people like they're literally probably down there building the Avengers as we speak. Like, no lie, they probably already have a Hulk.
Gamma ray radiation experiments and shit like that.
Yeah. They probably have a fucking Captain America. Iron Man's a little bit out there, but we're working on him.
Well, you know, the story of the Hulk is that they were trying to make a second Captain America because they couldn't find Captain America, and that's why the Hulk became the Hulk, was because they were trying to recreate the experiment that made Captain America.
Didn't know that.
Yep. Fun fact of the day.
That is pretty cool. And then fucking I'm trying to remember. So is that, do they talk about that in the Hulk movie?
I'm not sure. It depends on what Hulk movie you're talking about. They talk about it in the comic books and in the lore. Like, it's like canon in the lore.
Gotcha.
For those of you that don't know what canon means, that aren't anime nerds, canon is basically, it's not a side story, it's part of the main story. So
it's not some bullshit arc that they just like created for some interesting like.
It's not an independent contractor arc.
Yeah. Like, this is some real shit, okay?
Like Naruto is my favorite example. Like, you really got to pay attention to what's canon and what's not canon if you're watching the movies. A lot of the movies are not canon, by the way. I think like 4 of them out of like the 12 follow the main story. Anyway, we're not talking about Naruto. Deep underground bases. This guy, Lloyd Doucheman, Lloyd A. Douche, whatever, we'll call him Doucheman from here on out. He had also went on to talk about the Corps' involvement in construction of the large NORAD base, which is underground base in the Cheyenne Mountains in Colorado. Not really sure if it's there, but I mean, this is a decorated ranking military official publicly discussing underground military bases in the United States. Like, that's, take what you will from it. That's the cold hard fact. Decorated ranking military official discussing underground military bases in the United States that we have and that we continue to plan on building.
Yeah. It's crazy why we see so much of that, but why I mean, do we have any known cities right now underground? I think there's, I don't know if there's any right now that they have. Is there?
Not that I know of. It'd be very interesting if there were. I'd fucking move there in a heartbeat if the Wi-Fi was good.
Yeah, that would be the problem. The Wi-Fi might be shitty. Who knows?
Yeah.
I feel like for an underground base, though, if it's like it's going to be expensive as fuck, they better have good internet.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they would have good internet. 100%.
Better be included in the rent.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's wild. Like, just people able, like in the late 80s, able to talk about underground bases. It's just kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
In public, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. Because you think that'd be something you want to keep a secret, you know?
Either that, or you think like it would, since it got out, you'd want it to be a secret so badly. Like, you'd think once it would get out, it would just be this huge thing. Yet it doesn't get talked about anywhere.
Well, have you seen those things where they churn old missile silos from the Cold War into like housing, like like post-apocalyptic apartment housing?
Oh, no.
You've never seen that? Oh my God, it's fucking crazy. It's like in Montana and shit like that, where there's like all these old like nuclear missile silos that are vacant now, and the people got their land back.
Mm-hmm.
And they're turning them into like post-apocalyptic housing.
Hell yes. That's where I'd want all my friends just stick them in there. Be the greatest thing ever. Yeah. Just don't fall off the railings.
It's fucking nuts. Some of those videos, yeah, you need to watch some of those videos. They're fucking crazy. Like, and they're like churning some of them into like resorts and stuff. It is so weird.
It's gonna be the next Mall of America.
The Mall Under America.
Yeah, the Mall Under America. Dude, that'd be insane. What about like getting like sunlight and stuff though? You know, like if getting sun is important.
No, we're all gonna be albinos if it comes to that.
Yeah, probably.
Oh man, but there's documents available to the public that expose deep underground command centers built in areas such as Washington D.C., underneath the China Lake in California, that were built during the Cold War. Documents show that in 1964, the military considered building a 4,000 feet long or 4,000 feet deep cavity beneath the China Lake, supposedly to house defensive weapons. And as for the DC Command Center that's underground, that's where it's famously rumored that Dick fucking Cheney, sorry, gave the stand down order on 9/11 while George W. Bush was reading children books to a preschool class.
Dude.
The bunker under the White House, dude. It's so famously rumored that it's like pop cultured to where it's been in movies. Like, I mean, what's the movie with Channing Tatum where he's trying to be the White House guard?
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about, where he applies to be like a Secret Service member and then the White House gets attacked?
Are you talking about like Channing Tatum? I know I'm pretty sure in the movie G.I. Joe there was an underground base.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it was like very pop culture. Like it's like so popular of a like quote unquote rumor. Like it probably exists. Like I think that at this point we can safely say it probably exists.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there was a movie with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx in the White House where it was under terrorist attack, and Channing Tatum was basically like Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
Dude, I remember that. I'm pretty sure I remember. I don't remember what it would be called, but I remember I feel like I remember the commercial.
We'll just call it White House Down.
It kind of, because wasn't it? What was the other movie with Gerard Butler? The fucking.
I know what you're talking about with Gerard Butler too.
And that movie with Channing Tatum kind of reminded me, like, wow, are they really just making a making a movie exactly like this one or some shit?
Yeah, well, Gerard Butler is not as popular as Channing Tatum. You got to remember.
I don't know, man. That's almost debatable. Gerard Butler was pretty big.
Well, that was just when in the '90s when Gladiator came out, he was big back then. But after he divorced Jennifer Aniston.
True. Yeah. Channing is way bigger.
He's super hot.
Yeah. So is
I wouldn't fuck him, but I might suck his dick.
Gerard Butler though too is, they're both very just good looking people, but yeah, you see that everywhere, and it's like, how many times when people joke about shit like that or put it in movies, is it actually like a thing? Like,
is it like one of those things where you're like pulling wool over someone's eyes, be like, it's a movie, there's not a base under there, like, come on, move on.
I bet if you asked most people about that, they'd be like, there's no base under the White House. Are you stupid? Like,
are you stupid or something?
If there was a base under the White House, we would have known about it, dummy.
Dude, for sure. I mean, I feel like that's how it goes a lot of the time too, though. It's like, you think they'd let them put it in a movie? Like, why, you're fucking dumb or something?
Are you stupid? You think they'd be that stupid to let these guys put this in their movie and reveal their secrets? I don't think so.
Yeah, for real though.
Dude, I don't know. That's the perfect cover up for them. Have it be put in movies that are fucking fiction. And then people just don't believe it's real because they think it's fiction. They think it's a part of a movie. They're like, oh, that would be sweet. Well, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the same movie, they exposed the tunnels that they used to sneak Marilyn Monroe in and out of when JFK and RBK? Is that
RBJ?
No, JFK's older brother, Robert Kennedy.
Oh.
What was it? BK, was that his anyway?
It's been a
JFK and
while.
Robert Kennedy. Yeah, as high schools, whatever. But JFK and Robert Kennedy, when they used to run trains on Marilyn Monroe, like the tunnels that they snuck her in and out of, that was in the movie too.
Oh yeah,
Be interesting, you know. But I mean, I if there's not a fucking underground bunker underneath the White House at this point, there should be.
yeah.
Kim Jong Un's getting wild, bro.
Dude, I feel like it should be almost a widely guessed opinion that they should just come out and say that they have it. They should just be like, you guys already know. I mean, if you guys don't know, you're stupid.
For real though, like it's just.
Why would you not be like the number one probably targeted place in America, and you're not gonna have an underground base? Bullshit.
Yeah, you're fucking dumb. I'll build it for you. Fuck it.
Right? Yeah, I'd be a part of building that. Fuck. As long as I don't gotta live and die there. If you want me to help blow up a mountain to make a military base, like fuck, I'll do it.
Yeah, dude, for real. Talking about blowing up mountain, like I don't remember if it was the NORAD base or what it was, but if I remember it, I think it was Jesse Ventura's TV show that he used to have. You know who Jesse Ventura is, right?
Yeah.
That crazy fucking former governor of Minnesota. That well, not crazy. He's actually pretty cool. I like listening to him.
I don't know him a lot. I don't really know. I just know of him.
I like listening to him talk, but yeah, he used to have a TV show on like TNT called Conspiracy Theories or something like that. And
I think I might have watched. That's maybe where I know it from.
Yeah, well, he used to be a pro wrestler too, Jesse the Body Ventura, and then became a governor, and he was a Navy SEAL and shit like that. He got famous for suing Chris Kyle's wife for like after all that shit. He sued her because Chris Kyle in his book wrote about how he beat him up in the bar, which wasn't true. like the American Sniper guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he sued his wife for defamation. I don't know. Anyway, I saw an episode where he was doing like underground bases and FEMA camps, and there was one where he was in the mountains in Colorado. That, like, now that I think about it, the more I think it might have been the NORAD camp, but it was fucking massive, and it had like hydroponic underground farming to sustain the people in like a post-apocalyptic scenario where they could live there for years. And dude, it's so big, and it was able to house like thousands of people.
You could just live down there if everything else goes to shit. If everything else goes to shit, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
So our third person. So when we take our bathroom breaks, we got people to substitute in.
I'm gonna take one as well. Might as well fucking drain the snake.
Gotta drain the snake, bruh.
Oh man. All right, Jesse Ventura. Pet detective. Jesse Ventura, pet detective.
We should write a book about that. Jesse Ventura, pet detective.
All right. All right. What the fuck were we just talking? Jesse Ventura. Fucking just jump back into it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Fuck it.
Yeah. Let's just give it to him.
So yeah, Jesse Ventura's show. I mean, I don't know. It might be the NORAD base. Could be. Probably is.
Probably.
Thing about living in an underground base. What about procreation? What's the
It's about sex. That's her favorite.
what's the stand on order on procreation and post-apocalyptic? I don't know. Where do you stand on that? Who's banging who? Do you bank it on attractiveness? Do you want the next human race to be attractive? You want to be smart?
It would need to be separated out enough. I feel like
hotties bang the hotties and the nerds bang the nerds.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's a tough one how to decide on that. I think you would just need to have a big enough base. You need enough people for you to still be able to create life as it's dying, and like not have people who are related fucking each other. I feel like that's the number one thing. You just got to watch out to accidentally have, third cousins banging. Even though I don't know if that would really fuck up a child or not, but
yeah, what about first cousins?
That's okay.
Yeah,
because that's just love.
What's the so your stand on? Oh man, so your stand on procreation apocalyptic is
just bang whoever you want. If your kid's gonna come out with a tail, I mean, fuck it. You knew the risks. Maybe you didn't know they were your cousin, but
so you're on board with. Oh man, we're close to the word of the day, and I'm trying to.
Oh man, we are on board with fucking. Oh god, it's on the fucking tip of my dick. Incest. Yeah! Man, I've been thinking about that word all day, all this episode. I've just been like, where is it?
You are fake news.
Oh man, no.
Today's word of the day is brought to you by incest. I'm so happy that was it. If you don't think incest is funny, you can go fuck yourself. Yeah. Better yet, you can go fuck your sister.
If you don't think incest is funny, you've never played a Far Cry game before in your life.
Oh, this is going to fucking hurt.
Yeah, I don't like the amount of sugar that's in this, but
I think it's the sugar.
Oh, that wasn't bad. If you like
actually,
grape
yeah, that was pretty good. Actually, I take that back.
Yeah, that was remarkable.
That was like drinking a fucking grape Gatorade or something.
Yeah, like a G2 almost.
Exactly.
Didn't really taste the sugar in there.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't listen, me and Dylan don't do sugar very well.
Yeah, sugar is not our friend.
We both have gone through a fat phase, and we're over it.
Yeah, we're done with that. Plus, it gives me terrible bloatation and a lot of what would you call that? Constipation.
Yes.
Doesn't work well with us.
No, I'm not a sugar fan. So it's believed among certain communities that the air base known as Area 51 is just a diversionary base, bait and switch, if you will, if you're a used car salesman, also known as a piece of shit. It's a very old magician's trick to get them to look in one spot, and then what's really happening is happening in a different location. I mean, have you ever seen the movie The Prestige? The magician's assistant is the most important part of the act. The one that's really doing all the quote unquote magic and shit like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Also, it's a really good movie. Watch it.
I still haven't. I
It's
need
got
to.
Christian Bale, and I'm pretty sure Hugh Jackman's in it. I think Hugh Jack. I don't know. Either him. No, it's Robert Downey Jr. Maybe. Or I don't know. They're like too much alike.
I'm trying to remember because I think I remember seeing.
I think it's
commercials at
Robert
one
Downey
point.
Jr. It's got Scarlett Johansson in it.
Oh,
She does some sexy stuff. Wears a lot of sexy stuff. But yeah, it's a very old magician's trick to make them look in one spot, have what's really happening in the other. It's speculated that the real Area 51 base is located inside of the mountain, literally inside of the mountains, next to the remote desert base. Like, I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense. So while people are trying to find out what's happening at this mysterious air base in the desert, the scientists are able to study in complete peace on extraterrestrial findings in a safe base underground in the mountains. Which, I mean, the more you think about it, I mean, it makes sense.
Well, yeah, I think they said another base too, like the one under fucking in Nevada, under Las Vegas airport or whatever, shit like that was another one. Like they said that Area 51 was just fucking
It's a smoke screen.
Yeah, and it worked. It's you know whether they did have something there or not. Like the fact that people still look at it as the place. If you still think that's the place where shit's going down, that's probably been gone for like fucking 40 years.
Might have been the place that shit went down in like 1960.
Yeah.
When they started building the next base.
Yeah. They were already on to the next base. They were like, man, this one's too small.
Yeah, and then people
Fuck
are
this
always
shit.
like, well, there's satellite footage of a strange aircraft leaving there, and then it turns out to be like the next development of a stealth bomber or some shit like that.
Yeah.
By the way, those stealth bombers I've been to a Air Force Academy football game
Mm-hmm.
when they fly the new edition of the stealth bomber over the field right before the game, like right before kickoff.
Yeah.
Fucking insane. Because they're like football fields kind of carved into the mountain.
Oh
A little
yeah.
bit. Like it's because the Air Force Academy is in the Rockies, and it's so loud and it echoes off the canyons and everything. It's insane.
That doesn't really seem like stealth to me though.
Well, you don't hear like the plane's gone by the time the
Yeah.
sound is like it's fucking crazy. Those planes are insane. I don't even remember. Like I used to know what all the planes were called because we did the whole tour of the Air Force Base and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I don't remember that shit. Like I remember the B-52 bomber from the movies that we watched in like junior high and high school because they just like pounded B-52 in your head, like that old ass like plane with the shark mouth tattooed
Yeah.
on it.
I remember I made a model of that in like 6th grade. Used a toilet paper roll or a paper towel roll and some Legos and something else. But I painted it like a fucking shark though. That was the thing that mattered. I'm pretty sure I got points on that.
They based it on how shark-esque it looks. But yeah, no, that's crazy. Like they talk about Area 51. Like, I mean, there's people that tell stories about how they were delivering shit to underground bases in the near Area 51 area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just it's nuts.
I think, yeah, I definitely think they probably still could use like Area 51 for some shit, but I feel like if you think it's anywhere that they're like keeping aliens or doing anything with that, like that shit's dead and gone.
Yeah, I mean, what you think? There's an elevator that'll take an airplane 100 feet below ground.
Yeah.
It's a way more realistic to think that there's a tunnel in the mountains nearby that has a base
Mm-hmm.
that you can drive a fucking truck into.
Yeah. Yeah, mountains are the way to go. You know.
I mean, when you talk about this kind of stuff, you want to talk about realistic versus like,
Practical
like
versus
practical versus
cool.
impractical and movie theater kind of stuff. And we talked about movies earlier, but all that shit that's in the movies is practical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not all the shit in the movies. I should rephrase that. Like the shit about the underground bunker and underneath the White House and fucking Pennsylvania Avenue, like that's realistic. This, on the other hand, this people thinking that there's some fucking base underneath Area 51 as opposed to Area 51 being a smokescreen. It's impractical, I think.
Yeah. And how
it's cute to think about when you're like younger, but
and like how easy like their job is to divert people's attention. If people were finding out about something from Area 51, they would have been on top of that shit. People weren't as smart back in the day, didn't have the tools. Like they could have planted whatever shit they wanted to get people's attention on Area 51.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about Area 51 that I think has made people so distracted over the years is that there's like a shoot on sight order where it's like there's signs posting, if you're entering this area, you are considered trespassing by the U.S. government. And then like 20 more feet, there's a sign that warns you like, yeah, you're trespassing, turn back now. And then 20 feet further, it's like, you're now in a shoot on sight area or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, yeah, but I mean, still, that's just adding to the smoke because there's no, I mean,
it's like people see the first sign and they're like, I won't feel like there's something in there. Because then they see the next sign and they're like, oh man, something's in there. And then they see that you're in a shoot on site area. They're like, there's something in there.
Yeah, well,
there's something fucking in there. We need to get in there right fucking now.
Isn't Area 51 where they took the Roswell crash site findings? If I remember right,
that's what they talked about. Yeah. I don't know exactly what happened, but
I mean, I feel like people have just been fixated on that as opposed to, like you think in the 60s they had an elevator that was disguised in the desert that went to an underground base. And I feel like it's popularized by video games too. This idea that Area 51 is the fucking
the OG.
Yeah, like the fucking site. But I don't know how realistic is it that it was that popularized that early back in like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
It's just it's a fiction tale that people get hooked on, but people think it's since it's
I mean it's in the desert and they test out classified Air Force planes there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's where the ET shit is. I think it is happening in the mountains nearby.
I think it could be, but. Like it could have been at one point, maybe it could have been, but
yeah, like in the 60s and shit.
But yeah, but it's like as soon as shit happened, if people were like back in the 60s when people started talking, if you think their first thought was, hey, they're talking about us being here with this shit, let's just stay here another, 40 years and see how it turns out, like that's not gonna happen. Like, and people are so fixated on it. But yeah, like mountains are, I remember I read one story, I don't really remember it that much, but it was a guy calling in about fucking he said he's like called in and was like, yo, like I'm a sane man, like I don't do drugs or anything, like I'm sane, like I promise, but like I went out to like I don't remember where it was, the mountains that he went to, maybe it was the one in Colorado or some shit, but he was talking about like aliens fucking like he spotted like aliens, like there was like digging in the side of mountains and shit, and like said he saw aliens and like decapitated people and stuff like that. Now that part of the story is where I get a little, like okay, like if you were able to see that, aliens would have probably gotten you and you're probably an alien.
If you saw that, they saw you.
So it's kind of like I don't believe that so much, but I mean as far as maybe he made up extra shit. Maybe there was truth in his story about building on the side of the mountain. He said he saw cranes and stuff off the side of the mountain, like digging into it, like that part probably could have been true. Probably was maybe, if they're all about mountains now, why
Well, I mean, Colorado area is rich in gold, and the oldest text says that there were aliens. The Sumerians wrote about aliens called the Anunnaki coming here to farm gold.
Mm-hmm. Didn't know they came here to farm gold.
Yep. The only reason they were here was to get gold, which we'll indefinitely be talking about next week because I've already decided what our topic next week is going to be.
Gold?
Not gold.
The Anunnaki?
No, not that either. Then next week we'll be talking about the Denver International Airport. Yeah, like I said, we're going to be doing next week's episode on this just researching for this episode, I found out so much shit about this airport.
Nice.
And I mean, but like we're talking about underground bases here, so we're not going to delve too deep into it. But yeah, it's like you can't talk about underground bases these days without talking about the DIA. Is its airport name? You know, like when you buy a plane ticket,
Mm-hmm.
the DIA. Many wonder why it was even constructed when the Stapleton Airport was already in existence, very close nearby, leaving people to theorize. And the construction was to cover up a larger project that was going on at the Denver International Airport. There was already an international airport nearby, and they built a new one. But it gets
sneaky.
Yeah, it gets crazier. The airport spreads about 35,000 acres, and it is the third largest airport in the world, and it's larger than the second U.S. airport by over twice the size, and the construction cost $2 billion over the original budget. And despite its size, it doesn't have as many runways as its neighboring airport, the Stapleton. And despite its size, it doesn't even come close to making the top 5 busiest airports in the United States. So there's something going on there, and that's why we're going to talk about it fully next week.
That is very, very suspicious. Very conspicuous. That's some juicy details right there.
Yeah. Aside from the cult artwork on the murals hung all over the airport featuring Nazi-esque soldiers and children suffering, there is still more strange things going on there. Airport staff members report strange happenings at the airport. Speaking of rumors of an on-site morgue, which would make it the only airport in the United States that has an on-site morgue, if what I've read is correct. And there's underground doors leading to tunnels all over the fucking place. And we're only going to brush it here to end the episode, but this is why we're going to be doing this next week, because doing research on this episode, I found this shit out. It's rumored that to house an underground bunker for elites housed under the Denver International Airport. And this rumor is fueled by the excessive amount of over-excavation while building the airport. It'd be the perfect place for elites to fly in wake of a catastrophic event due to natural resources and climate of Denver. And it would help them sustain during natural disaster or biological warfare.
Dude, I remember we brushed on that a while back.
We've talked about it before.
The Denver airport. I remember brushing on that, but yeah, I'm ready to dive into that. Like that blows. I didn't remember about that. The whole, they don't have as many runways. They have, they're not one of the busiest airports, but they're
I literally
fucking
just
huge.
found that out yesterday.
That's insane, bro.
Another crazy fact is that Barack Obama was there in Denver near the airport when I don't remember this because it was 2011 and I was more worried about getting my dick sucked than what was going on because I was a horny little teenager. But when the Lenin comet was said to be plummeting towards Earth, guess where fucking Barack Obama was? in the Denver International Airport when it was supposed to hit Earth.
That's
Like leave it to that fucking scumbag to fucking be the first president to utilize the underground base. And I can say that because I literally voted for him to get my dick sucked by some cheap tramp I used to date.
yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know that he was there when that was supposed to like go down. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, it was the first time I voted for president was a year later to get a BJ.
I have no shits to give. Never voted for a president ever. Do not give a shit. I have no care. Sorry, everyone out there who would get pissed. No shits given. Because if I voted for Barack when I thought he was all goody goody, he's gonna go hide in a base underneath an airport. You know, they're all fucking scum. Don't trust them.
But yeah,
I didn't get invited to go underneath the airport.
No?
He didn't send me a message saying, "Hey, bro, shit's about to go down. Come over. We'll have some drinks, some cocktails. It'll be fun."
all the Bud Light. It'll be
fun. Bud Light. We know you want
Do you
some
remember when
Bud Light Lights?
you remember when you went to Pump House?
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend played at what the fuck was that little, I guess like a 50-person venue set on Main Street or like right off Main Street.
The space.
Yeah, my friend's band. It was their first show the same night that he was at Pump House, and I was trying to park my fucking car and go to his show, and literally someone came up to my car and said, "You can't park here. The president's on Main Street." And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" So like, one of the reasons I hate Barack Obama is he personally wronged me by making me miss my friend's first fucking concert.
Fuck
Fucking
that.
dickhead.
Fucking asshole. He can burn
He
in hell.
needed to go have a Bud Light that bad.
He can burn in hell.
He will.
He can go somewhere else where he doesn't have our fucking Wi-Fi. Fuck him.
Yeah. But back to the Denver International Airport, there are photos of underground railways and highways that surfaced towards the end of construction before it opened, lined with chain link fences and downward stairs. Not upward stairs, not stairs to go upstairs, stairs to go downstairs, underneath the airport already.
Maybe that's because I remember seeing the videos, and I don't know if we watched those together. I remember seeing the videos about like people filming like the trucks going into the tunnels where they were like, "But this doesn't go anywhere." They're like, "Where does this go? Doesn't go anywhere."
Well, the pictures that I saw recently were like, I mean, there were signs, but they weren't English. I bookmarked them. I saved them. Like I saved all the photos on my computer and shit. But like the sign, like it was. And I don't want to go too deep into it because we're gonna do our whole next week on it. But like it's so fucking weird. And this is the central. Like I mean, if you think about like where all the known underground bases are in the country, this is the central one, is the Denver International Airport.
Mm-hmm.
And it's commonly speculated that these underground bases are linked by underground tunnels, the main ones being Malibu, so in California, Malibu, Denver International Airport being the central, Area 51, and DC. And there's said to be underground roadways that connect all the bases so the elites can safely travel when the time deems necessary.
Do you think, my kind of final thought, and this is kind of off topic, but do you possibly think that it's possible aliens are controlling our government and everything? That it's possible that they're the ones that came and like they're fucking just like, yo, like we need your children, we need your kids, like you find us kids, fucking all this other shit saying we need this, like you guys are gonna do what we say. You think it's possible?
I
or
don't
do you
think that they're controlling our government because when it comes to it, we control our government. But I think that they are controlling elitists. I don't know because
it's possible
because
they're
that goes
controlling
into
elitists.
that goes into the realm of if you think that they're like like people call them reptilians and shit like that. And I don't necessarily know how, like, I believe that there's an old religion that people practice that they don't want to talk about. I don't know how much I believe in reptilians and shit like that. I don't, I'll take that back. I kind of believe that there are reptilians, but I don't want to, because that idea is fucking terrifying.
Mhm.
If there's another race that's controlling the elite society, because remember, our country is built on us controlling the masses controlling the government and shit like that,
Yeah.
which is slowly dying through law and judicial proceedings and shit like that. But I mean, I don't want to believe that, but I kind of do. It's one of those things where it's like what we talked about last week with Julian Assange, like what freedoms are you willing to give up
Mhm.
for, I don't know. It's that idea is crazy, and I try not to think about it too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to think about, but it's
Because
like,
that level of an idea is like, what the fuck can you do about it?
yeah.
And I try to think about things that I can control. Like,
Yeah. I feel you on that.
but no, I mean, that idea, it's scary, but I mean, it's very realistic if you take out the word government. Is that there's,
Yeah.
if you replace the word elite with government, because think about the Bohemian Grove. Like, really, like, we have elite groups of the government worshiping a fucking, like, what, the owl god Saramac or whatever the fuck his name is, every
Yeah.
year, and it's been known since the 90s, and the same people that were elected in the 90s that were at this event are still in power.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like, and oh man, it's not, I think, I don't know. It's weird because you either take an evangelical approach to it and say that they're worshiping the devil, or you take a tinfoil hat approach to it and say that they're worshiping, gods from space.
Yeah. Like actual things that are controlling us.
Right. But I mean, at the end of the day, who knows what the answer is,
And I don't think we'll ever really know
No.
that. I think that if they wanted to make it known that they were in power, I feel like we probably would have known
If
by now.
if I ever reach the level to know the 100% truthful answer to that question, I hope I get JFK'd. Dude, straight the fuck up.
I'd like to know. I wish I could just know everything. I would be so happy. I wouldn't say a word. I'd keep it all quiet. I'd just be like, I don't give a shit. I just want to know.
I can keep a secret.
Yeah, if anyone out there wants to talk to us and give us some info, we won't share it on the podcast. I'm just kidding. We will. We definitely will.
No, but that's a crazy, like, it's like a crazy fucking, because I mean, honestly, like, all, like, especially, like, we'll talk about it next week in more depth, but at the Denver International Airport, like, they have like a bunch of alchemaic symbolism around there. So I mean, like, you're talking like Nicholas Flamel, which became popularized by Harry Potter, but was a real person that
Yeah.
wanted to obtain eternal life through combining chemicals. And
Mhm.
like, you got like and like I said, we'll talk about it next week too. They got the fucking some of the tiles that are on the floor at the Denver International Airport are mined from the same fucking cave that the Knights Templar was founded in.
It's insane.
It's fucking, dude, it's like there is something going on, but what is it?
Yeah.
That's what, like, I mean honestly, that's why our name is Who Really Knows Podcast, because it's just like,
who really knows? Barely anyone.
yeah.
Few people know. There's few people who know.
I mean, you want to talk about Hillary Clinton being a fucking terrible person, but she's not even like close to like the people that know the answers.
Yeah.
Like,
she's a cog in the machine.
Dude, yeah. She, like, I mean, I think she's a terrible, I think Trump's a bad guy. She's a bad guy. Obama's a bad guy. Bush, definitely a bad guy. Like, I mean, fuck, dude. All these people are fucking terrible people.
Mm-hmm. But whoever's at the top is the worst. whoever's doing all this
So-
shit without care about.
Well, I don't know. I still think Hillary's worse than Trump.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, he's at the top and she's fucking at her lowest of lows. But I mean, still, they're
Yeah,
both like people.
She fucked up for running for president.
Yeah, well, people fucking try to argue with me all the time. I'm like, you know, like, I mean, Trump's bad, but Hillary's bad too. And oh my god, dude, it's so obnoxious. I'm like, do you understand how fucking bad of a person that bitch was? Like,
Yeah.
she ostracized literally. So Bill Clinton enacted the 3-strike policy to fucking take down the black community over crack.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, and we talked about that on the War on Drugs episode, and it's just like, and she referred to all black children as super predators. It's like, how? And then she goes and she's like, I'm a minority leader, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was that? Like, I've seen videos of her just like pretending to be a Southern gal and all this
Yeah.
shit. I was like, bitch, you're from Connecticut. Like, fucking. She's like, I brought, like, she was on the Breakfast. I think it was the Breakfast. She was on some like famous radio show for like, I think it was like in LA, and she was like, I brought my own hot sauce. Like,
Yeah. Fucking twat.
I fucking hate. Oh my god, I hate the idea of her.
But yeah, next episode, that'll be a good one.
It's gonna
It'll be
fucking-
exciting. Y'all
It's
have to
gonna
tune in.
Gonna be occult. It's gonna be conspiracy. Gonna be religious a little bit.
A little bit of religion.
I mean, just like,
Hail
That-
Satan.
well, that's the crazy thing is there's like not Baphomet, but like satanic shit there. And there's also the Knights Templar shit there, Freemason shit there. That's fucking nuts. But yeah, we'll we need to get this on so Dylan can watch Game of Thrones.
Dude, yeah, let's go. I'm ready to see some people die.
All right, ladies and germs, thank you for tuning in
Have a good one.
for another episode of the WRK podcast where we ask the questions, but at the end of the day, who really knows? As always, I'm your host, AJ, with my good friend Dylan, who is currently using the bathroom. But we're going to end it out here. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, both at WRK Pod. I try to use them both. Busy guy. I don't know. You can make it possible for me to use them both more frequently by subscribing to our Patreon, patreon.com/WRK Pod. Just a little bit of funding will make me work a little bit less. Putting in like 90 hours of work a week between this and my other job. So, yeah, help us out. I mean, lighten the load. Yeah, I don't know. Watch us on YouTube. Just look up Who Really Knows Podcasts on YouTube and you'll find us. We're streaming every Monday live. You can interact with us. We'll have a good time. But yeah, other than that, catch you later. Yeah, have a good one.